In this video, I'm going to share 9 of my top tips to help you to get a really good restorative night's sleep. So if you're an insomnia sufferer, stay tuned because some of these might help you to get the sleep that you're looking for. If you're new to my channel, welcome. It's so good to see you here doing the work and educating yourself on everything neuroplastic, somatic, and emotional and spiritual that's going to support you in healing from unresolved trauma and narcissistic abuse. Remember, the body holds onto everything. Time doesn't heal, it conceals. And a lot of time, if you have been in a state of hypervigilance, or perhaps like me, grown up in a country where you always had to sleep with one ear open because violent crime is a real thing, or perhaps you grew up in a household where there was a lot of disruption, or you never felt safe in your home or protected. We learn to not sleep well. And over time, remember, time doesn't heal, it conceals. This builds up and builds up until you end up having a real problem trying to get to sleep, or at least have a good sleep and wake up feeling rested and ready for the next day. Insomnia can be completely debilitating. And I know that in periods of my life where I had gone 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days without any sleep, everything is compounded. Everything is just more unmanageable. And the anxiety heightens and you just can't function, which is why they use sleep deprivation as a form of torture. We need to be able to calm our minds down. We need to neuromodulate our bodies to notice where we're holding tension in the body so that we can release it in a healthy way. Not everything works for everybody because we're wired differently. We live in different environments and we are affected by different stresses in our daily lives and in our families and in our workplaces. And financial security is one of the reasons why a lot of time people cannot get to sleep, because we're ruminating, we're worrying, we're trying to think of all the different ways that we can resolve this big problem that's showing up in our life. And we don't want to wait to the point where in debilitating chronic pain before we start to address these. So the more support that you can get earlier on, the better for you and for those of you that you love. So here are my 9 top tips to support you in having a good night's sleep and waking up rested and ready for the next day. The first thing is Epsom salt baths and making sure that you're getting enough magnesium, because the soil is so depleted that we're actually all magnesium deficient. Make sure that you are adding a good magnesium supplement to your diet. Take it at night, which is the best time for it to absorb. And if you have muscle cramps or tension in your body where you just can't quite get that full stretch, you're probably deficient in magnesium. I like to use it topically so that it goes straight in to the blood. Remember, your skin is the second lung. So after your bath or your shower, take a little bit of magnesium oil and spray it over your belly area on the inside of your thighs, and take a good magnesium supplement. Eat foods that are rich in magnesium, which is just another good way of maintaining a good healthy lifestyle, is eat living plant-based food, deep in the chlorellas and the greens and the spirulinas, and make sure that you're sourcing it from an ethical company when you do. If you can't get to a float tank, I love a float tank because there's sensory deprivation. It's calm, it's quiet, and you're just floating in a tank of magnesium salts. So if you can't get to a float tank, just use good old magnesium salts in your bath and put on some beautiful music and relax. And it's a good time to take a bath before you're about to go to bed, because it does calm the nerves. The heat just relaxes the muscles and it kind of prepares us for the next cycle, which is gearing down into a sleep cycle. The second thing I love to use is the vagus nerve release points that I showed you in another video. Everything is connected through this 10th cranial nerve in the back of our cranium. And it's called the wandering nerve because it affects and it's communicating top down and bottom up to keep our body's autonomic nervous system in a prime condition. Make sure that you check out the other video that I did on vagus nerve release points that can eliminate pain from your body, like jaw tension or migraines or any kind of chronic issues that you have around your upper body and your shoulders. When you're in bed, that's also a great time to use the stretch that I showed you, which is also another way to release the vagus nerve, where you put your hands behind your back and you use eye movement to desensitize and relax your body. You're literally telling your nervous system to calm down. I'll link that as well in the comment section below. Another way that you can enhance or improve when you're brushing your teeth at night. This is all part of building up and getting your brain to know that it's time to go to sleep and to calm down and to leave the day behind you, is when you're brushing your teeth and you rinse your mouth out. Take some clean water. Use the gargling method that I shared in another video to relax and release that vagus nerve. And you could then do some mantras. You could use the Ganesh chant as you close your eyes. You could put on some soft music, subliminals, to get your brain primed for good REM sleep. Also practice really good sleep hygiene. Make sure that you have a good block-out curtain in your bedroom, that all electronic devices are turned off, that your cell phone is not in the same room as you. I love to use biogeometry, the emitters that Dr. Karim sells in his shop. I'll post the link to that below as well. But we're so bombarded constantly with electromagnetic frequencies. They're all around us. They're coming through our electrical points. They're coming through our water. There's telephone wires and cables, and it's so hard on our body. And we may not realize that it's affecting us until much later on, when our body literally cannot store the toxins anymore. And we will have some kind of health crisis that gets our attention to that. So practice good electromagnetic frequency hygiene along with the other ways that you're preparing and priming your body for sleep. If you have a television in your room, I highly suggest that you take it out. But if you want to have your TV in your room, make sure that you're switching it off at the mains, because even when you turn it off, that little red light that you see blinking on the bottom of your television screen is emitting electromagnetic frequencies. So turn that off and make sure that all your electronic devices are out of sight and out of mind. Move your body a little bit. I like to lie in my bed, put a pillow underneath my hips, and then do some cross stretches so that you really start to stretch out your body and just allow any of that pent-up tension that may still be there to dissipate and release. The more tension that you hold in the body, the harder it is to settle down, which is often why you'll see babies wriggling around and stretching and moving when they're trying to settle and calm themselves. So move your body, do some yoga stretches before bed, or just take a little bit of time to really just go into gratitude that you are safe, that you have a beautiful warm bed to lie in, that you have a roof over your head and a full belly. Don't eat later than 8 o'clock because your body takes so much energy to digest your food, and you really want your body to be able to be doing nothing else but just focusing on regenerative, restorative sleep. If you find that you are in bed and you're calm and you're quiet and you've done all the other things that I've suggested, and then your brain kicks in and starts revving up again, Don't lie there getting irritated and frustrated, because I don't know about you, but I've found that the more that I am trying not to think about things, the more I think about things. So get up, maybe make yourself a beautiful warm cup of golden turmeric milk and sit down with your journal and do a brain dump. I often find that by making out a list of all the things that I want to accomplish in the day, I don't like to call it a to-do list, I like to call it a being list, being in flow, being in inspiration. The more that I do that, and I can then settle it with my brain, I'm literally making a deal with my brain that we know what we have to do tomorrow, so we can go to sleep now and enjoy a good night's sleep. So practice doing brain dumps. Use breath cycles. Breath is such a beautiful tool, and it's free. So practice giving yourself some lovely deep massage, the diaphragmatic breath, where your cranial diaphragm, your pelvic diaphragm, your every aspect of your body is being engaged when you breathe. The cranial bones are moving up and down. And in doing that, you have this beautiful knock-on effect where you're massaging the pineal gland, and the pineal massages the pituitary, and you're activating all your chakras just through a beautiful flow of breath. It's kind of like the ocean where the waves come in and the waves go out. So perhaps putting on nature sounds like the ocean or rain can be very soothing and really supportive in using these other tips to get a good night's sleep and not have to suffer from insomnia anymore. You could also use essential oils. I love rose, any high frequency smells like rose or lavender or frankincense. Maybe rub a little bit of that on your temples and put a little bit underneath your nose before you go to sleep, or on your pillowcase. And notice how just being fully present with the smells and the sounds and your body sensation of your spine being supported by the mattress can really slow down your heart rate and prepare you for a good night's sleep. So there you have it, my 9 top tips to increase your chances of having a very good night's sleep if you suffer from insomnia. Leave me a comment. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 9 tips are you already using or are ready to try to use? And if you have other tips that you know that really help to get you out of a bad sleep cycle or to help you to fall asleep more quickly, I'd love to know what they are. And by you sharing what you know, you inspire other people to go out there and take back their power and claim sovereignty in all aspects of their life.